Hi, I'm Antonio. I'm from ultimately Sydney, and I'm a tour guide, and I'm here with Andrew from Tyrrells Wines, and he's going to take us today to give us a bit of the aspect of how we make the wine in this wonderful, the oldest vineyard in the Hunter Valley. Andrew, thank you very much for your time.
You're very welcome. And this is our starting point right here, and the reason we use this as our starting point is because this is the home and the birthplace of Tyrrells wine. This little hut might not be much to look at, just 4 walls and a dirt floor, but this original dirt floor hut was built way back in 1858 by Tyrrell's founder, Edward Tyrrell, and was the birthplace of Tyrrells wines. We now, some 5 generations later and some 162 years of family business, is still 100% family owned and operated by the wonderful Tyrrells family.
Is it? Would you mind to show us exactly?
I would love to show you Shiraz, and we're going to show you around, and we're going to show you exactly how these wines are made. So let's go.
Okay, Andrew, we are now where it all matters. This is the vineyards. They look so healthy. When is the time to pruning? It's very soon, is it? Yeah,
we're actually coming in the time of year that we need to give these guys a little bit of a haircut. We're going to start in the next couple of weeks, and because we have so many vineyards, it's probably going to take well up until August. So we're now mid-May, so we've got a good few months of pruning. We just need to get them done before bud burst, which is the start of spring. So when the sun comes out and everything starts to warm up, that's when we need to get these pruned for, and that's when we need to get the new trellising set. So that's a cane prune from either side of your rootstock, which is your main roots. We need 1 key cane on either side, and that's going to be the launch pad for the new season. So as soon as spring hits, they're going to be the little canes that's going to give us the new flower and the new shoot and the new leaf, which you can see out here now. So all the other curly hair bits are what we're going to get rid of in that time.
Yeah, fantastic. And this whole area here, it's the famous Shiraz, Tyrrell Shiraz, which is my favorite red wine. Who doesn't like Shiraz? Madame mia.
Who doesn't? We're on the original part of the property that's most famous for its Shiraz. And it is so because of the wonderful rich red clay soil that we have here, really vibrant in colour. And you're also looking at, and the reason we've come for a walk down here is because we're at the oldest vineyard on the Tyrrells property.
Fantastic. Okay, well, I mean, we are in a Shiraz. Let's move out and find out more about your wonderful wines you have here.
Yeah, well, let's follow the journey all the way through to the winery and see the end result.
That's me. Okay, Andrew, where are we now? Yeah.
Well, I guess firstly, the vast majority of Tyrrells grapes are hand-picked. And that's because we're making premium wines. We tend to get a lot better results with hand harvesting. And also because we have so many beautiful old vineyards. We've now got 7 vineyards that are over 100 years of age that are on their original rootstocks. So we want to protect these vines. So we're hand-picking into generally about 1 tonne bins. So we're bringing about 1 tonne bin at a time here into the winery. And the very first spot for these grapes is generally the crush. And the job of the crush is to separate the juices from those skins. So we want to break it all up because that'll then give us a better result at pressing time, which is the next step. So this is the crush here behind me. It does 2 jobs. It separates those juices from the skins, but it's also discarding the old stem. We're not using the stem in this process. And this section that you're looking at here is all for our white wines. It was originally where all of Tyrrells wines were produced through this old part of the winery. We now process our reds in another shed here on the property. So think about all of our Semillon and Verdelho and things like that going through this machine here, removing the stem and separating the juice from the skin. So Antonio and everyone watching, now's my favourite part. We're going to take you inside and we're going to show you exactly how these wines are made, and we're going to taste that finished product.
Come on guys, I'm excited about this. Come on.
Thank you. So we've looked at crushing the fruit. Next phase is to press those skins. And again, think about the white wines. Reds are going to go in a slightly different order, but we want to press the juices off those skins before we ferment the wine. So just here behind me is an example of what we use for these pressing methods. One of the most common methods I would say now is the large pneumatic press or a bag press. These can hold roughly 6 to 7 tonnes of fruit at any one time. And again, the objective is to extract all that fruit juice from the skins so that we can then ferment and make our wine. Well, now I've brought you all into the original part of the Tyrrells winery, actually built back in 1863, so 5 years after Edward Tyrrell settled here. And 1 year later after that, 1864, was the first vintage of Tyrrell's wines. So these are the original open top concrete fermenters. So sort of forget the first couple of steps that we just talked about with whites, where it's crushing and pressing. With the reds, we're going to remove the stem, and you can either crush the fruit, but in a lot of occasions here at Tyrrell's, we like to keep those berries whole. And then we like to put all the berries and all the juices in together into these beautiful old open top fermenters. And the job of the open top fermenter is reds are going to actually ferment whilst in contact with their skins. We don't need that with the white, which is why we're getting rid of the skin before ferment. Reds are going to ferment while they're in contact with the skins, because that's where we're extracting that lovely colour, lovely flavour, and lots of tannins. And tannins are that natural drying sensation in the mouth, and you get varying levels of tannin, and they give great structure and great balance to the wine.
Matt, I wouldn't mind to swim in one of these full of wine. The only problem, I wouldn't like to get out. That's the problem. Andrew, what's this? This is like a school with a blackboard. So many names. What's that?
Well, it's actually showing off our 150th anniversary, which was now 12 years ago. It's gone pretty quickly. Yeah. But all the old winemakers that have spent time here either studying or as winemakers here at Tyrrell's over the years that we could get together for a bit of a party and have left their signatures, and some of them you might find quite recognisable.
Bato, Hook,
Hookie, Andrew Thomas,
Marks,
Andrew Margan, all pretty well icons now in the Hunter Valley.
The Hunter Valley, yeah. Fantastic. Wow. My goodness, look at this. This smell here is just amazing. By the way, I got out of the wine barrel. I'm already dried, but the smell is amazing. Not from the barrel, from here. I'm going to meet Andrew here again to give us a bit of explanation. Why is this soil, the floor here is like that?
Well, I think this is my favourite part of the winery. It's certainly got that charm about it. It's the original part that formed part of the original Tyrrell's winery. So that's the part of the winery that was built 1863. And it still has the original dirt floor, which is all heritage. So this is basically compounds of pretty well exactly the same soil as what we see out in the vineyard, that beautiful, rich, red clay soil. And we keep this nice and packed. So that it keeps, first of all, the ground packed. We keep it watered quite often, but also it keeps the temperature nice and cool in this part of the winery. So it's no surprise that you get a lovely smell in here, because if these floors could talk, there's quite a bit of wine been absorbed with these over the years.
I believe you. What's next, Andrew?
Well, we're nearly there. The most exciting part. We're going to go look in the barrels, and then we're nearly ready to taste. I can taste it.
Oh yeah, I would like to taste that. Okay, Andrew, we are now with so many barrels. How much wine is here?
Lots. I guess it probably, maybe I see it all the time and I'm not quite used to it, but there's lots of wine in here. So these large format French oak casks that you're looking at are actually called puncheons, and they're holding between 2,500 to 2,700 litres each, depending on the year it was made and the size. So there's slight variations in the size, but they're all around that 2,500 to 2,700 litres. All French, and this will in turn give us around about, let's say, 300 dozen per barrel. So if you start counting up the barrels, and at one stage here at Tyrrell's we had over 100 of these large format, so lots and lots of wine.
Lots of vino. Huh?
And they're coming down in here. Imagine all of our red wines coming down into this section here. The reds require, I guess, oak imparts structure and balance to the wine. Oak is very important to use. It depends on the varietal of red wine that we're trying to make. But basically, there is a lot that we could teach you and tell you about oak and an oak barrel, giving us slightly different results, finished results with the red wine. Funnily enough, our red wines here at Tyrrell's are spending around about that 14-month period in one of these oak barrels. So it's quite a long time in oak. However, we don't want the wine to taste of oak. We want the wine to be the oak to be prevalent in the wine, but we don't want to be domineering or dominating. It's there to add balance to the wine and help pick that fruit core of the wine up.
Fantastic. Well, I think we are in the last part of our tour.
Now there's only one more thing left to do. What time is it?
I think it's wine o'clock.
It is definitely 1 o'clock, and I know just the place to go.
That's
Ready?
it. Ready.
Let's go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Andrew, once more, thank you so much. I think the promises are promises, and I think I can see a bottle of wine in your hand. Means something. It's a wine time. Do you remember what you said?
I did say it's 1 o'clock, and I think I do owe you a little something. So let's finish off with a little drop. And look, because no one else is here at the moment, I think I'm going to join you.
Do you think this is enough for a Portuguese?
I think so. Cheers.
Cheers, my
Thanks
friend.
for coming.
Thank you so much.
Hope you enjoyed.
Salud.
See you soon.